Cimoooooooo!
Welcome to Tech Tuesday, a weekly series where we discuss some awesome tech cards as well as help make you a better player. This week's card is Swords of Concealing Light, a really neat spell card that's actually very identical to one of the most popular spell cards in the current format. And it's really good because it can help turn the tide of a game in your favor. Swords of Concealing Light is a continuous spell card that reads, upon resolution, you change all monsters your opponent controls at the time of activation to face down defense position. And on top of that, your opponent cannot change the battle position of their monsters while Swords of Concealing Light is face up on the field. And finally, Swords of Concealing Light gets destroyed after your second standby phase upon activation. Now, why is this a good tech card? Well, let's look at the current meta and see how we can best use Swords of Concealing Light to our advantage. Now, immediately, a lot of you are going to be drawing comparisons between this and Book of Eclipse. And essentially, both of these two cards are going to be fulfilling the same role for our purpose, but they both have different niche applications as well. So, for example, the most immediate use that a lot of us would be using this for is to break a Djinn lock, because if you use this, flip your opponent's monster that's under Djinn into face-down defense position, the Djinn lock gets broken and you're free to special summon all you want. You can also use Swords of Concealing Light to flip down Floodgate monsters such as VANITY'S Fiend, Majesty's Fiend, or even Constellar Knight Diamond, which is one of the biggest pains for dark decks at the moment. You can also use Swords of Concealing Light to flip down an opposing NEKROZ player's NEKROZ of UNICORE, which is really good if you want to be able to go off with any of your monsters from the extra deck and potentially turn the game around entirely. Now, one of the biggest differences between this card and Book of Eclipse is that Swords of Concealing Light is continuous. Now, some people might see that as a drawback because that means it's slower and you can't use it on your opponent's turn like you might Book of Eclipse. However, it can be used to your advantage because if you activate Swords of Concealing Light, say it resolves and all your opponent's monsters are set back face down, say they have the out to whatever you might do on your turn, those monsters can't get flipped back up next turn. They're not going to draw like they would from Book of Eclipse, and they're still forced to keep all those monsters face down due to Swords of Concealing Light's effect. So you can have another go-around next turn to be able to break their board, and that's really cool. Another advantage to Swords of Concealing Light being a continuous spell is that a deck like Satellar Knights can use Satellar Knight Trevere to bounce back Swords of Concealing Light the turn before it's going to self-destruct, and then they can reactivate it on the next turn or whenever they need to at that point. So having the ability to recycle the card so easily is pretty neat as well. What's cool too is that Swords of Concealing Light is going to keep your opponent's monsters face down for at least 2 turns. So if they can't manage to break the Swords of Concealing Light or manage to mount a board that's going to be able to do anything, then that's really good for you because that's essentially 2 free turns you have to set anything up that you want to do to be able to counteract their board and essentially go in for a win. Let me know down in the comments what you all think about Swords of Concealing Light. And again, I know it's really easy to draw comparisons between this and Book of Eclipse, and for good reason, because both cards are essentially perfect for effectively doing what we want them to do in this format. And it's really up to you to decide what you feel is the best card for your deck. Thank you all so much for watching the video. We'll see you next week.